So, one of the things that I wanted to address is the principles of commercial leasing. I do a fair bit of commercial leasing, whether that's tenant representation or landlord representation. And one of the things that I get all the time, I get a lot of tenants get confused about this. And they'll say, especially when it comes to retail leasing, I don't know why I have to pay the property tax. I don't know why I have to pay the property insurance. Because in retail leasing, specifically in retail, and a couple of other asset classes, but in retail, they usually rent in what's called triple net leasing. So there's a base rent, and then there's taxes, property insurance, and common area maintenance that are additional expenses or costs to the rent. And a lot of tenants get confused and are like, why do I have to pay that? Well, just to go over the principle of leasing, it is the landlord's business to make money off of his or her real estate interests. It's their building, it's their properties. That's how they make their money. The expenses that go into the ownership is the responsibility of the tenant, not just you as the tenant leasing that space, but every tenant in the building. So basically how it works is all of the expenses are broken up per tenant per month. So the annual tax bill is broken up for however many tenants there are and for each month of the year. And that way it makes it easier on the tenants so they don't have to pay a huge fee at the end of the year for the taxes and the insurance and the property insurance and the common area maintenance. Basically, the landlord is putting in their pocket the base rent. That's what they want as their income. Everything else is the tenant's responsibility because they're only there to lease you space. They're leasing you space so you could run a business and make as much money as you want to make. However you build out your business model and whatever product or service that you offer, the landlord is not putting any restrictions on you on how much money you can make. You could make $1 million a month in that space. It's their obligation to give you a space, and that's pretty much it. So if the taxes, insurance, and CAM are the tenant's responsibility because the landlord just wants to make what they want to make and as their profit, and that's it. So whatever the taxes are, the property insurance and the common area maintenance, that rides on top of the base rent. And if those expenses should go up or down, again, that's carried over to pass through to the tenant. And a lot of people can't figure out, why do I have to pay that? Well, if you put yourself in their shoes, you would do the same thing. I'm just the landlord. I'm not here to make money off of the product or service that the tenants are selling. I'm here to give them a space. So if they're making $200,000 a month in a 1,000 square foot retail space, God bless, that's all up to them. I don't care what they make, but I want to lease out the property and I want to make a certain amount of money, and taxes, insurance, and common area maintenance eats into that profit. So they want to be at a solid profit of a certain amount. And that's what they're accepting when you make an offer and say, I'll give you $24 a square foot base plus triple net. So they're making $24 a square foot per year. That's what they're putting in their pocket. That's what they want to keep, and that's their prerogative. So if a tenant comes and I get this a lot, why do I have to pay that? Why do I have to pay that? I'm paying the rent. Well, it's all considered rent. All of it's considered rent. The only thing that in retail that's different is the expenses are broken out because the expenses will fluctuate up or down as the years go on. So no one gets hurt. They're split out so that way if they do fluctuate, it changes your rent bill. And people get up in arms about that because they feel like the landlord's trying to take advantage of them, and they're really not. All they're doing is trying to make themselves whole, so that way, if the tax bill goes up, they're not eating into their profit each month. So there's a lot of things that nuances to commercial leasing, but that's one of the biggest ones that I get on a weekly, monthly basis. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit about commercial leasing with specifics to triple net leases and how landlords look at things. Because I know it's kind of tough to see the landlord's point of view when you're the tenant, but that's how they see it. So I am the Bulldog Broker. My name is Angelo Mitlow. I will be making this content, ongoing. So keep coming back to the channel, and you can learn all sorts of tips and tricks like this. And we've got lessons from the Bulldog and all sorts of stuff. So there's a lot of real estate content on this channel, and we hope you come back and we hope you subscribe. So thank you so much. Be blessed.